G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for some more Devilian. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some gameplay for the Abyssal Tower mode, or feature in this game. Abyssal Tower becomes available about halfway through the leveling system, but it also represents one of the game's significant pieces of endgame content as well. It's one of the features that really stands out in Devilian for me as an excellent, interesting sort of feature, something I'd like to see in a lot of other action RPGs and MMOs. Basically, the Abyssal Tower is a gigantic tower with 100 different floors, and there are two modes that you can do in the Abyssal Tower. There is a time trial mode where you select a realm, which equals 10 floors, and you try and clear those 10 floors as quickly as possible. Your total times are added up, and then you'll put on a leaderboard for the week to win various prizes, and this sort of thing resets every week. So there's this competitive speed clearing / racing sort of feel from it. And then the other mode, which is probably my favorite, is the survival mode, where you start off at the very first floor. Things start off very easy, but they get progressively harder and harder, so you try and climb your way up as far as you can in the tower. You can do both of these modes once per day, and it gives you a really nice sense of progression as you play along, as you reach higher and higher floors each day, and you feel the progression of your character. So, I'm going to give you guys a look at the time trial mode first, and then I'll give you guys a look at the survival mode as well. So, this video will sort of show the gameplay off of this. So let's continue from where we left off, which was at the 50th floor. I think we actually start on a boss battle for this one, so that should be an interesting starting point here. I'm gonna go ahead and activate a buff for this one, and let's jump straight into it. We have Judging Postos. The first boss here, we'll wait for him to activate there. Now I'm playing an Evoker, which is this game's sort of elementalist spellcaster. Have a lot of mobilities, a lot of area damage. Boss killing potential is decent for this style of character. Let me put my dots down. We want to stay off those giant exploding bomb things, so I'm going to keep moving around this way. I think I'll shield up here and I'll try and regenerate some of my mana a little bit. My auto attack there regenerates my mana fairly quickly against single targets, so go ahead and use that. We probably don't want to run up that way. I'm going to dodge out of the way of that attack just there. So this way, as you can see, there's a timer on the right-hand side there, and we have to try and kill these guys as quickly as possible. I probably should be using a little more of my cooldowns to try and down him a little faster and see if we can get the highest possible time. While you're still leveling, getting like the highest times is not really like your biggest goal. Your biggest goal is generally to make it to the next floor and try and get further each time. But of course, it is fun to try and go as fast as possible and see how your character improves and see how your build is feeling. It's a good way to sort of test out your build in various pieces of content as well, because you get a mixture of boss fights, a mixture of AoE clearing, multiple waves, sometimes singular waves. Oh, get in between those just there. Let me put my dots just down here, and we'll try and finish him off. I need to get out of the way of that. Thankfully, my dodge coming in handy there. Oh, we should probably stay off those bombs just there. And we should be able to finish him off just here. I think I can shield up. He can't do any damage to him once I got this shield up. And we can try and finish him off there. The Absorb's doing the work and finishing him off. Good stuff. Alright, let's grab the loot from that level. You can see we can get some bonus gold and XP. And we can move on to the very next floor. So that first one took a little while there, but the next one should be faster, and it adds up all of your total times. Let's go ahead and activate the next level here. I'd love to see content like this style of gameplay in games like Path of Exile. It would be just such an excellent like alternative form of endgame and competition to sort of engage in. It adds like a racing component that you can kind of play on your endgame characters rather than re-rolling constantly. So we do want to, in this time trial mode, try and blow our cooldowns as, you know, on each floor to try and speed things up. You can wait for your cooldowns to refresh before you go into the next floor as well, so we can just wait a second there. Let's go ahead and put down our Burning Ground. We'll try and group enemies up on it if we can. Sort of group enemies up as much as possible, and I'll use my Lightning Blast to finish these guys off. I have a good selection of skills in this build that I've put together. It's a mixture of Control and Burst Evoker, and means I have a lot of different cooldown skills that I can use frequently, and it's quite a good feeling style of build. Alright, I have a little bit further to go through here. What are we at, the 53rd floor? I think the 7th or 8th floor is a Devilian mode floor as well, which actually forces you into your Devilian mode. It kind of means that you get tested both as your regular character and as your Devilian mode self. You can't actually use Devilian mode outside of those forced floors in this though. If you guys have seen some of the earlier content, Devilian mode is kind of this other form that you can enter that's typically very good at single target, but not so good for AoE. Very powerful, tons and tons of damage, but only really very good for single target. So this tower will occasionally force you into Devilian mode, but otherwise you don't have free access to it. Normally what you can do is you can just fill up your little Devilian meter in the middle of my health and mana bars there, and then you can activate it whenever you like to try and, you know, burst down powerful single targets and things like that. But in this mode, you can only use it on certain floors. So 55th floor here. Sometimes this 5th one is a little nasty because of this miasma of dark energy just here. So I'm gonna try and group these guys up here on the fire dot, and we want to stay outside of that spinning that spinning business. Anything that spins around like that is, you know, is going to cause you problems, right? Spin to win is often quite potent in action RPGs. Let's knock that guy down there to keep him off us. I'm going to shield up and recharge my mana here if I can. We can freeze him to the spot as well to help. Alright, we'll use our cooldowns here to try and finish these guys off. Taking a bit of damage, so I'm going to activate my heal there. I can probably stand on top of the heal and out-heal his damage, I think. My heal is fairly potent. That was a little sketchy, actually. We got down to 900 HP there, which is a little concerning. I didn't have to use any more potions, though, so no potions. I do have two different potions. I have a regen potion and an instant heal potion. They're on separate cooldowns, so I can use both of them. We'll wait for our regen here before we go into this next floor, the 6th floor just here. I doubt I'll be setting any time records this time around, but I kind of surprised myself when earlier in the week I actually got first on the floor. I'm sure someone has taken that spot now. It was like on the 2nd day or something, so not as many people had recorded their times yet, but still managed to surprise myself when I secured a first position. So that was pretty fun, even while leveling. I think that's because while you're leveling, you're typically taking on the lower floors. This is a multiple wave floor just here. You're typically taking on the lower floors while leveling, while other players, higher level players, will be taking on the upper floors and trying to compete for the greater rewards there. So there's actually some competition to be done as a lower level player. I just managed to get out of that wall before it dropped. This stage here is a little nasty. I'm going to activate my shield and my heal at the same time, which allows me to get healed up despite even enemies wailing on me. I'm going to use a regen potion here because this is being actually super freaking nasty here. I am sort of pushing the floors up to, you know, the maximum of what my character can do at the moment because over the past couple days I haven't done too much leveling or progression while I've been doing some other things. So I've done these same sort of floors a couple times, so I've sort of progressed up to my character's sort of limits. So I should still be able to make it through to the 60th floor just here. I think in survival mode I made it further than that. So I should be able to complete this time trials. Obviously, if you happen to die, then that kind of screws your attempt at setting a record time, right? So we'll try and avoid that. Let's group those guys up there. Let's knock them down, and I think I'll unleash some ults on them as well. I have 2 ultimate abilities. I have a meteor and then a starfall ability on top of that as well. Thanks to specking kind of between 2 different trees, sort of gives me the opportunity to use both of those. Though I'm not as invested in either of those as I could be potentially, because of the way I've kind of like divided up my tree between control and burst here. But it does mean I do have a good number of skills to sort of rotate between, which gives a really sort of enjoyable gameplay experience in this. I actually really rate the combat in Devilian. It's quite active and dynamic, even by action RPG standards. So this is our forced Devilian mode, which I accidentally teleported there. The Devilian modes can sometimes be pretty difficult because the way you get Devilian gear in this game is only through a few game modes where you usually play in Devilian, such as PvP, for example. There are, I think, some other ways of getting it, but I haven't done much of that just yet. I've been mostly leveling as my primary character, so this Devilian form can be a little trickier. Let's go ahead and teleport there. I'm going to try and freeze these guys here. I don't have any Devilian potions at the moment as well, so this is all a little bit sketchy, guys. I'm going to try and do my best here. That stun is so annoying. If we can take him down first, I think it was him that was doing it, then that should help us a lot. Try and keep the melee guys off us at least. My teleport's about to come off cooldown. Teleporting, alright, good. Very sketchy. Sort of just playing it carefully here, trying to survive. That stun, man, that stun! Alright, freezing him. Alright, let's get off of that. Alright, I think I took one of them down there. Hopefully you can see the timer's starting to run down here. Alright, took off the next one. Alright, I think it's only this one left. We can handle this. Let me activate my area damage there, and finish him up. Pretty close. Pretty close. Only just managed to make that. This last floor should be quite easy, so that was the one that I was kind of worried about, actually, was that Devilian form level just there. See, I've been doing a very good job with my character's regular build, and that's allowed me to progress quite far, but, oops, I should have waited for a heal, maybe. But, yeah, haven't sort of worked on my Devilian form quite as much, which if you want to compete in these modes, then you need to work on, you know, both aspects of your character. You can't really have any weaknesses. Same goes for AoE and single target as well. You need to make sure that your build is somewhat proficient in both, because this is essentially a solo mode. So there we go, we completed all the floors in the time trial mode just here. We get our final times all put together, as well as some gold and XP rewards, various Abyssal currency. You also get a lot of Devilian XP, which allows you to level up your Devilian form. So we can potentially, we can see here if we have a an actual Devilian level. If we go over here, looks like we do. We got enough XP in that to actually level up our Devilian form twice. Holy crap. That should hopefully help the next time I go in, because that's been a nice boost to our Devilian stats just there. So that's pretty good, and I managed to get a bit of extra gold and XP and things like that. Let me salvage up, and then we'll go into the next floor. Now you can see that by doing this mode, you acquire these Abyssal Essences here, which is this currency used at the vendor just outside the Abyssal Tower. You can purchase various pieces of gear, including some, I think these, this purple tier is called Epics or something like that, and some of these are quite powerful. They also have set stats, which allows you to, you know, get a specific thing, like for example, this one just here is quite nice, Intelligence, Evasion, Magic Crit, and Magic Crit on top of that as well, both of those stacked together and work very nicely, so there's some pretty nice pieces of jewelry and stuff like that you can buy in here with these, with this Abyssal currency just there. So I just looked at my times, and I actually got 10th out of everyone, thanks to my time of 12 minutes 66. I think I could have done that a little bit faster too, though. Yeah, maybe I could have gotten like 9th or 8th, but not bad. I'm surprised I managed to even get in the top 10 for that one. So let's go now into the challenge mode, or the survival mode, this is my favorite mode. The time trials are pretty fun, but I really like the idea of making it as far as you can, that sort of roguelike style challenge. So as soon as you die, you're booted out, and you gotta try and make it as far as you can. Whenever you make it to new floors, you get showered with riches and rewards through the mail system. And you also can get like a good amount of kind of like actual like character progression through this. Like you saw, I got a lot of Devilian souls from that last one too. You can see all these like little things flying towards me here. Actual devil souls that I can use to level up my Devilian form. So this is a great way to level up your Devilian form on top of that. So it works quite nicely. So as you can see, these first couple floors here are going to be super easy, because these guys are all like low level. These are level 21 mobs. This is the first floor. Time, I'm not sure if time has an impact on this mode, actually. I need to find that out, but there is a time, like a limit on each floor for how quickly you can do it. It's pretty generous. It's usually more than what you need, unless you're like really struggling on a floor. But it's mostly about making it as far as you can. Now, you do get a score, and you are compared to other players via a score. And I'm wondering, that's what I'm wondering, if the time has any impact on the score. So maybe if you guys have been playing and know the answer to that, let me know in the comments below. But so far, my main goal is, you know, just to get a little bit further each time, basically. So my Devilian mode, I'll talk a little bit about that. My one key, this fireball I throw out, if I throw 5 of those, it'll actually ignite the enemy, dealing a powerful damage over time. Then I have the more powerful single target ice spear just there. And then I have an AoE fire, and finally a kind of like a little freeze, a crowd control. I love the Evoker class overall, but I'm not a big fan of a Devilian form. I have played a little bit of Cannoneer, one of the other classes, and I think I prefer Evoker overall as the general class, but the Devilian form of the Cannoneer is really fun. It has a sprint, it feels a lot more mobile and explosive, whereas I feel like the Evoker's Devilian mode feels a little bit awkward, perhaps. Alright, I'm gonna have to try and dodge these. Can't deal any damage to him when he's in this form anyway. Alright, we can just shield up here though, and... well, he got out of here, so I'm gonna have to just keep moving away from this guy. Obviously, this boss being quite a low-level boss is pretty easy for us to deal with now. Though, right when you start, basically, you can start entering this, you know, right at, I think, like, level 20-ish. You can jump in and you might be able to do like the first floor or two and, you know, try and really push it. Feels like a struggle. And then you come back the next day and you breeze through that boss that absolutely wrecked you last time, which is a good feeling. You get a really nice sense of progression from this mode that I quite like. It's one of the sort of like, this idea of having no cap on what you can essentially do apart from, you know, a combination of your character's gear and skill. But not just like an arbitrary cap saying like, oh, you can only enter this dungeon if you're this level and so on and so forth, which MMOs are typically full of, and this game is no different in other modes, like, you know, you can't enter this dungeon until you're level 31 and so on and so forth. But in the Abyssal Tower, right, you're allowed to go as far as you can make it, which I really like that. Because, you know, a really skilled player who's put together a solid build could maybe make it like another 10, 20 levels over a player who's kind of just, you know, just kind of like dawdling the way through, having a good time, not really creating any sort of good build, or haven't really paid much attention to their gear or anything like that, or who doesn't really have very good mechanics. Something different you'll notice about this survival mode too is that the the floors, the realms are all on one floor basically, so you'll have multiple waves, which means that you have to employ a little bit of a different gameplay strategy. Typically, in the time trial mode, you go in and you burst all your cooldowns so that you can kill things as quickly as possible, right? And that's kind of like the best strategy if you want to try and secure the best times. In this mode, however, because the next wave spawns as soon as the first one's finished, you need to make sure that you know, you haven't used all of your cooldowns all at once, because you might need them in the next wave to stay alive. And if you blow all your cooldowns like overkilling a wave, then you might actually screw yourself for the next time round. So we have another boss here. As soon as this guy goes active, I'm going to drop both my ults on him here. Do some nice damage there. Did about a bar of damage, not bad. And I'll put my... While he's like in that mode, we can sort of regenerate our mana. That's a perfect mode. He kind of locks himself into the spot there. Now, I'm going to put my fire dot down. That thing does huge amounts of damage. If we can keep him on that, that'd be perfect. I think I'm going to shield up here and work on my mana a little bit more. Not that we really need like perfect rotations on this guy. He's already downed. So I got him, get a bunch of extra loot and gold. And you get a lot of like things to salvage in this, and once you get up to the level that's appropriate for your character, you can also get decent gear for your character as well. Like I've managed to fill out some of my gear slots, you know, through doing this Abyssal Tower as well, which has been quite nice. So we're going into the next floor here. Things will start getting a little harder here, but certainly nothing we can't handle. Group these guys up, put my fire dot down. Deal with this wolf just there. Next wave should spawn in just a second here. There's some tricks that, because the Devilian mode's a little hard, and sometimes it'll spawn a lot of enemies for you to deal with, and since AoE is not your Devilian's strong point, I like to try and cheat it a little bit if I can. You kind of know when the next wave is going to spawn if you count each of the waves, so you can drop an AoE just before it spawns, and the AoE will still deal damage while you turn into Devilian form. You can also make sure you're fully healed and all of that as well, which is quite helpful. We won't need that for this floor, but I think I'll try and counter for the next one. I believe it is so this is the 5th wave just here. So there should be 2 more waves after this, then Devilian form, so we'll kind of check that out. I remember the first time I did this giant fella here, he absolutely wrecked me. So it's every time I wreck him now, it's quite satisfying. As I said, you get that really nice sense of progression as you go back and smash bosses and enemies that gave you problems before. So yeah, that was 2 waves after that, and then the 3rd wave is the Devilian form, so I'll try and, let's practice this, ready? So I'll kill these guys just here, and I'll drop my AoE. I just managed to get it down in time, so you can see how that actually helps quite a bit. That actually killed off a couple of those enemies there, because that AoE, that fire AoE does a lot of damage. So that actually helped a lot on this wave just here, which can be quite challenging otherwise. So that's actually going to be kind of crucial to our making it through on the next couple of realms, because that Devilian form gets, as I said, that gets to be the really tough floors sometimes. You get kind of you get really challenged when I'm much more proficient in this mode. All right, let's use our ults on this guy. Don't really need them for the regular wave, so it's nice to use those just to burst down the boss. I haven't, I'll have to take a closer look in the future at how the score changes if you kill things fast or if you kill things slow, whether that makes any difference indeed. This guy kind of like a giant Gom-style boss from Diablo 3. He spawns out little things that go and explode on you. This barrage here is, even though I'm like super out level for this guy, is 35, I'm like 40 something. That barrage attack is still quite brutal actually, because it kind of stun locks you, and it can do a good amount of damage. It could, if I get hit by all of them, it could actually kill me, so we can't, you know, we can't snooze fest against the earlier bosses too much. It gives you sort of a nice warm-up though, the easier waves before moving into the harder waves. Alright, do we need to salvage anything? No, we're looking good. Alright, let's head into the next one. So we'll try and make sure we do those Devilian tricks again next time around. So I believe it was the 8th wave that we need to count for the Devilian form. So we'll try and do that there. All of our cooldowns are up. Let's go. Alright, let's group these guys up here. Should try and pull them onto the dot a bit more. Position myself over here would be a little nicer. Our next wave will be coming. Let's let ourselves regenerate. I'm going to chill these guys to sort of group them up. And I might knock them down a little bit there as well, so they don't chase after me too much. That's my 4 ability is a kind of like a fire blast that knocks everything down. It's a trip, but it actually works as a full stun as well. Stops them from moving and attacking. So that was the 2nd wave. We have the 3rd wave here. I think the Dark Miasma is always the 5th wave, so we'll keep an eye out for that as well, just to sort of confirm what wave we're on. So this is the third wave here, I believe. Take these guys out, pretty easy peasy. Now this was actually the fourth one here. I don't know. Now I'm a little unsure. Well, I'll try and the one that I think is going to be the Devilian mode wave. I might want to heal myself up here. Actually, I want to make sure that I've got full health moving into some of these later waves, especially that Devilian wave. After all, alright, let's take out that guy there. It's causing a bit of problems. I'm going to use a heal potion here. Let's try and take out this guy here. I'll save my. I think I'm going to save my number 2 fire dot. Alright, let's try and group these guys up, because that one is the sort of nice one to pop before the next wave. So this would have been... This could be 5 or 6. I'm a little unsure now. I don't think it's going to be the Devilian one, though. Ice attributes. I think it might be the next one that's going to be the Devilian one, so... Okay, let's try and deal with these guys here. I'm going to use my ults on this guy. I'm going to use my heal here, try and get myself fully healed up. Alright, let's pop this down. Oh no, I missed it. I missed it. I tried to do it. I wasn't quite early enough. Oh no. Alright, this could be a little sketchy. Let's try and deal with some of the trash mobs there as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, some of those ranged attacks I just can't avoid, so we want to try and take out those guys as early as possible. There's a ranged attacker there. Alright, this one I don't think is going to be too hard. We need to make sure we nail that next one though, because thankfully we can make it through this one okay. Being full health makes a difference as well. If you go into the Devilian floor with low health, then things are a little harder. Alright, let's try and take out these guys here. I'll use all my cooldowns on this, it's not a problem. I think we'll have the boss next as well. Or might be one more before the boss. Alright, take out this last thing here. Got some little kind of like lightning call things. Alright, here's the actual boss. So yeah, I think I miscounted the waves by one, that was my problem. Typical noob mistake. Good job, Ziggy. Alright, oops, I accidentally walked into that lightning wall. We kind of want to run circles around her, but then dodge out of the way of the wall. If we can't get out of the way of the wall, jumping through it helps, because you'll typically take like 2 or 3 hits of damage from it if you just stand there. But as she shoves that lightning wall to you, it's not a bad idea to jump through it, to sort of just mitigate some of the damage that you take. Alright, shield's about to run down, let's keep moving here. We can be quite mobile while using our lightning blast, which is our main kind of like boss DPSing skill, really. It's our mana spender and something that we can just constantly use. Sort of just poke around the edge of that there. Unfortunately, she moved and most of my starfalls missed. Thought she was going to stand still there. Let's run around the edge of that. Very nice. Alright, well this has worked out pretty smoothly. I think we're looking in pretty good shape here. She's doing some teleports. I think I might be able to sort of just finish her off here before she does anything else. Alright, let's use our heal here as well, just get ourselves healed up for the next floor. There we go. Dawn Belt, I think, is still 1 tier of loot below me, so we haven't quite got to the useful loot tiers just yet. So this next one, I think I'm really going to need to nail that Devilian form, or I might struggle a little bit. Let's group these guys up. Blast them down, and I'll finish those guys off with a Starfall. Does the trick. I like the Starfall quite a bit. It drops 4 kind of little mini meteor things that can all hit the same target, so it actually works really well for boss damage. It does, I think, like 900% or 1200% damage, and you can actually, once you master that skill, drop 6 instead of 4, which is a big increase to the amount of like single target damage you can deal there. So I quite like that one, especially as like a boss killer. I initially thought the meteor was better, but the meteor is only just 1 hit for about 600% damage. Where the this one is like 4 for 300%, so it's better right off the bat, as long as you can get all of those kind of star meteors to land there. I'm going to use a regen potion here. I'm taking quite a bit of damage. The Evoker's weakness is definitely physical ranged attackers, like bow users and stuff like that. Our physical defense is quite low, and oh my god, go away please. Our physical defense is quite low, we need to get out of that dot, and we also, we really can't do much to avoid arrows. Most of them are auto-targeted, which is one thing I don't like so much about the game. People have been asking some things that I don't really like about the game, because I've been quite enthusiastic about Devilian so far, and that's because my impressions thus far are really quite good, but there are definitely a few things I don't like about the game. And unavoidable ranged attacks, I think, are one of my like pet peeves as far as any like action RPG goes, because I feel like you should be able to skill dodge ranged attacks, right? They should be balanced around that. But when they're unavoidable, right, it just becomes a pure gear check. And while gear checks make sense in action RPGs, they can still be quite frustrating, especially if they're like super common, like that sort of thing. So like I can stay quite mobile and move. I guess it's probably it makes sense maybe that they're unavoidable, given that most of the Evoker's skills can be done while moving. It would be very easy to constantly dodge things if you know, if they weren't. Maybe if ranged attackers were more of like a slower thing rather than a constant pelting, and you had to kind of use your dodge move, which is on a cooldown. Something like that would be a nice balance, I think. But yeah, it's just a little unsatisfying getting pelted down by arrows and knowing there's nothing you can do about it except to try and, you know, manage your heal cooldowns. Alright, let's finish her off just here. I totally haven't been counting the waves either, guys. Alright, well, that was it, apparently. Oh god, I'm not very good health either. Alright, this might be the end of us. This might be the end of us. Let's use our teleport here. I think I just managed to dodge that as well, so that's good. Alright, let's keep sort of bursting down as many of these guys as possible. Let's use our AoE there to try and work some of them down. Use my teleport, sort of pelt these guys from range a bit. We need to get out of that. Oh my god. Oh no! Okay. Not the best. Alright, let me use my teleport over here. Sort of off-screen them a little bit. Okay, let's use our fire explosion there. That thing is so annoying, man. Alright, I think we can make it through this. It's gonna be close. Alright, it's gonna be close. Oh, we need to take out this guy first. He's almost down. Okay, here we go. Let's freeze her, and she can't do too much against us then. She got some ranged attacks, but I think we can out-DPS her. There we go. Alright. That was a little sketchy. Whoa, heal. We're not out of the woods yet. Alright, let's try and group these guys up. Only just sort of managing to heal there. Not very much, though. Alright, and here we go the final boss of this section here. I shouldn't need to use any of my instant heal potions here. Alright, this is the guy we fought in our time trial today, actually, so we should well be able to make it through this. As long as we don't make any errors here. I don't think this boss is too difficult. Most of his abilities are not too hard to sort of maneuver around with a high mobility class like the Evoker. Ooh, okay. We just want to make sure we don't run down that way, so we're going to have to circle back around this way now. Let's go ahead and take that out. I'm going to shield here. And now I'm going to use this as a chance to get my energy back. Basically, my shield is a full absorb up to 50% of my total health, so as long as I sort of keep in mind how much total damage I've taken on the shield, I can basically stand there and take no actual damage to my character, which is a great chance to regenerate that mana back up, which is pretty essential. Whoa, okay. That thing's a little nasty. It does trip you as well. Alright, let's get my dot down. Let's sort of stack that dot on top of him as well. Alright, we need to just sort of position in that little V there, and we'll be fine. And we should be able to finish him off here. Now I'm going to use my cooldowns here, and we'll sort of get my mana back and finish him off here. Alright, oh no, that's not good. Oh no! Oh damn! Whoops! Oh, that's how quickly things can be over if you screw up like that. I could have kept moving, but I got overconfident in my mana shield, guys. Don't get overconfident in your mana shield. Yep, so that one blasted through my mana shield. I think my mana shield might have worn off. No, I got about 6 seconds on it. I don't think it wore off. I think it probably just busted it down, and then because he stacked a couple AoEs on top of themselves, I got hit by them all and absolutely insta-gibbed. So that was good fun. A little bit of an earlier finish. I certainly didn't make it the furthest I've been so far. But hopefully this has been an enjoyable look at the Abyssal Tower for you guys, and a bit of an idea of what this is. You can see how this is something that, well, personally, I've been pretty excited every day that I get on and play some Devilian to, like, yes, cool, I got another run of the Abyssal Tower, which is quite cool, and I like that idea of, you know, you're getting a little bit further. Some days you don't get quite as far, or you don't get a little bit further that day because you screw up like that. That happens, and that's what's quite fun about it as well. The questing in this game, generally speaking, is probably a bit too easy, and Trion have recognised that, and they've said that they're going to be tuning it up to be more difficult. But it's nice that the game has a mixture of easier sort of content, like questing and some of the solo dungeons, and harder content, like group dungeons, and things like the Abyssal Tower, where you can really push yourself Basically, that unrestricted style of content means that the game can be quite challenging while still allowing like the regular content to be quite friendly to you know, lesser skilled or newer players. So overall, I'm a big fan of the Abyssal Tower. This is a feature I'd love to see in other games like Path of Exile. Here's some of the rewards I got from the time trial run, which was a new floor there. A lot of Abyssal currencies, some crystals. Interesting. Ah, cool. These are used for crafting a resistance elixirs, I believe. Those are quite valuable, actually. Some pretty damn nice rewards in the Abyssal Tower. Things to upgrade our Devilian form. Some more crystal boxes. Damn, heaps of those. Those are super useful. And there was even some premium currency there that we got given just there, so that's pretty nice. Put all that stuff together. Some pretty nice stuff for competing in the Abyssal Tower too. It's challenged with an appropriately kind of like good feeling amount of reward as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's going to be it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.